So, what do you think the essential qualities are for someone that would want to become an entrepreneur? Like, let's say that these young kids are analyzing their life. They're like, okay, go to college, get a good job, work for a living. They realize that no longer really works. It's not an effective strategy unless you're going to be a very specialized professional, right? We'll make that exclusion. So, high performance executive, physician, specialized technician, trades slash business owner. Outside of those categories, like, the old school mantra of just go to school, get a good job doesn't really work. And wages are not keeping up with inflation.
Right.
So, like, let's say a young kid's analyzing, like, what if they're looking at their own skill sets and abilities, what do they need to be a successful entrepreneur?
1971 was a pivot point for wages. 1971, if you look this up, is a specific date. We left the gold standard in 1971. Richard Nixon removed us from the gold standard finally. There were other DPEGs before that, but we actually completely were no longer backed by gold or precious metals. When that happened, wages stopped keeping up with the rate of inflation significantly. So if you wonder why your parents or grandparents were able to have one job, still have a really nice like two-story home with a white picket fence, a dog, and a Cadillac in the driveway, a lot of it is because back then you could do that with your salary. Now you can't. So everyone's looking for something else. Now, look, you can live a great life if you keep your overhead low, don't go into debt, and you go into the trades or get a great job. You definitely can do that, but you won't have your freedom of time. The one thing that I've had my whole life pretty much is that I chose when and where to go on my terms. Even in college, like I literally didn't show up to exams and flunked classes because it was my time. I decided what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. Not a great attribute in some cases, but like it's a sovereign attitude. And I didn't realize how hardwired that was in me. And that's one of the greatest benefits of being an entrepreneur. What makes you a great entrepreneur to be able to do those things is you have to be curious, in my mind. Like you have to have curiosity. You have to want to dive into research and learn. And you have to be hungry. You have to have grit and drive. You have to go and not stop. The biggest problem I see people make in any industry that I've trained people or helped people start businesses or start their careers in real estate is they work hard, they start, but they don't keep up with it. Someone might give it 3 months or 6 months, but all of their deals are 9 months away and they quit or they change gears, they do something else. And it's really, really sad to see because that success is right there. Sometimes it's further off than you want. It's very uncomfortable. I know early on, like our start, it took maybe years to really gain traction and you'd hope it'd be months, but you have to put in that time and give it that effort the entire way. And eventually you will see fruit from that labor.
The momentum compounds too over time. So
Yeah.
it's like that curve on the chart, and it slowly compounds, and then after a handful of years, it compounds much more rapidly.
I'm a huge fan of the compound effect. And not only does money compound, but I think good habits compound, like exercise, right? You can show up and exercise a little bit every day and you're going to get stronger and healthier. Versus someone that exercises hard for 6 months and stops, they're not going to be healthier in the future. Maybe a little healthier now, but that compound effect is real. So I also, in my life, I try to add a quality attribute to what I'm doing a little bit at a time. If I want to change my diet, I change it a little bit over time, but with a goal. Same thing with exercise routine and staying healthy, and in business too. You don't have to reinvent the wheel overnight. You can take your time and keep adding and adding and adding to it.